Hey guys, Jengar here. Well, it's out! The Italians are here, fantastic. And the first thing we're looking at is the new attacker, the Ba.65 K.14L to be precise. We're flying this plane out for a realistic review and we'll see what it can do. Now this plane is fast. It might actually be the fastest reserve plane in the game. Very nice. Good dive speed and good dive performance as well. Control surfaces work very nice in a dive and fantastic handling there. It is also pretty maneuverable for such a big plane. I could not complain about that. The roll rate even felt pretty good and the turn time felt pretty acceptable. We are facing another Ba here and we're going for a head-on, which is actually pretty dangerous because you have a huge engine in the front which is easily damaged, and especially with head-ons you have a big problem with the engines getting hit a lot. At least that is my experience. But the plane does have some good guns on her to do the head-on with. You have two 12.7s and two 7.7 machine guns, with 700 rounds on the 12.7s and 1000 rounds on the 7.7s. The plane also has a decent acceleration in a dive. Pretty nice. Now I used in this battle a 500 meter convergence. I used air targets on the 12.7s and I used universal on the 7.7s. I chose for bomb load 2 times 100 kilos, with which we killed that, I believe it was an artillery, but you can also choose 4 times 50, which is quite nice. We get our second kill there in this match, but our engine was hit and we have to make a hasty retreat towards the airfield to get repaired and get some new bombs. Now the plane of course gets an air start. It has a bad climb rate though, so climbing is not really a thing you can do with this plane. It also has a bad energy retention. Like I said, a huge engine which is easily damaged, and it represents a pretty big target. Now what I want to warn you about, and what I tried to do a few times, is to take it into the vertical. This is something you absolutely do not want to do in this plane. It is super bad in the vertical and it very quickly stalls out. So yeah, don't do that. Keep it in the horizontal for turns and try to keep running from planes if you had a confrontation or a run-in with them. If they chase you, you can pepper them with your back gunner, although that back gunner is a little bit limited. You have a no firing zone directly behind the gunner with that tail with the support beams, and there's a pretty big cone that is unavailable, so you gotta shoot a little bit to the left or right of that thing, and you will not be able to fire that gun in that area, so that's a little bit annoying. And of course it also cannot dip below the tail, so you gotta keep the plane lower than your enemies when they are behind you. This is something that you gotta do. It's important. Now here you see one of my maneuvers. Now with a full web it gives you a stall out at 125, gives it a critical warning. That's not too bad actually for a plane like this, but take it into the vertical only when you are absolutely sure that there is nobody around, because you're gonna give people a very easy target. Now I thought with 2 kills in the bag and a few assists and a ground target, I was pretty happy with the results so far, and I thought I could get into this fight with an I-15. This I-15 actually proved very elusive. We still had 4 people in the match, but they also have 3 or 4 people in the match still. But they all have fighters and we have only 1 fighter here, and the rest is bombers, which isn't too big of a problem, but now the cruising speed of this plane is not magnificent or anything. It is okay, but the dive speed is brilliant. The top speed is 490, and like I said, that is the fastest top speed on any of the reserve planes, which is quite astounding for this big beast. Now here we take a few more hits on this I-16 with the gunner, which is quite nice. But he didn't take any real damage, and he killed that other guy, that CR-32. And we had to run away from him at a certain point. I took too much risk after a while. We do get some hits in on this other CR-32 that came by. And I still have my 2 100 kilo bombs here. So what I am trying to do here is I'm trying to lure these guys down, and I'll throw off the bombs. They are not very big bombs, so the blast will be pretty small. But here I let them go. I'm at 25 meters, but they probably are a little bit higher than that. So I don't know what kind of effect it's going to have. No effect, unfortunately. If it would have been 500 kilo bombs, you know, who knows. So 2 kills, 1 ground target and 2 kill assists in that first match. As we jump into this second match, this is one of those arcade matches turned into RB matches, I believe, or just one of the smaller RB matches, I don't know. Tier 1 stuff, I believe. I haven't seen this map in a long time. We're gonna take our 2 100 kilo bombs to these light tanks though, and we're gonna try to throw them right into the middle of these two here. Bombs away. We remove ourselves and we get both of them. Pretty nice. We drop them right at the right moment. And we try to avoid the AA guns that came from that island. We also have the AA from the ships coming in from the right. Yeah, like I said, the plane is pretty easily damaged when you do head-ons. It is tempting though sometimes, because you can, with these 4 machine guns, which have pretty good damage output right now, you can easily put away the biplanes. Thing is though, the biplanes, at least the CR-32s that are rampant right now, also run the same armament as this thing, and they will shoot into your engine, and even the slightest hit will just yellow out this engine and will immediately take off a third of its output in horsepower, and you'll basically be forced to limp back to the base, while you could remain in the fight with a good amount of ammo. Although of course when you run into a head-on with a CR-32, he or she is probably at the same altitude as you, and that forces you to take the head-on and keep running. That's often the only way you can deal with it in this plane. If the CR-32 takes a split S and comes on your tail from behind and below, often then after a split S, you can't hit them with the tail gunner, because yeah, he's limited to above the midline of the fuselage. Now we get hits on all these 3 guys, but no cigar, unfortunately. This guy is coming for the head-on. We're gonna take it. There goes our engine. It's red. It's black actually immediately. He destroys it. We kill him though, which is nice. And we are going to land, but there is still several CR-32s in the area. Put her down. Yeah, there we have it. There's the other CR-32 that goes down for our second kill. Here comes the other CR-32. We're gonna sit in the back gunner, but we can't fire right now. I believe he is not combat capable. At least that's what it says down there. They probably killed my gunner. Poor guy. And finally we get destroyed by these guys who are strafing me one after the other. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now that was enjoyable. It is nice to see a real attacker, the first one in the reserves, let's say that. It's the fastest plane in the reserves in a dive. You can run away from everybody, but the energy retention isn't good, so eventually the CR-32s can catch up to you if you have to fly in a straight line long enough. The back gunner has some problems, but is all in all reasonably usable. This plane is super bad in the vertical, don't do that. She's a big target, has a huge engine, risky in head-ons, but still sometimes head-ons is the thing you gotta do with biplanes, which can glue themselves on your tail pretty badly if you're on low altitude. If you're not on low altitude, just dive away and you'll outrun them. It has a bad climb rate and bad energy retention, but that's life. It's fantastic in a dive and it has decent acceleration. All in all, a very nice addition to the Italian tree that has been released today. It is fantastic. I enjoyed flying this plane a lot. For the next plane, I might jump into a tier 2 or I might take out a premium CR32. We'll see. We'll try to cover as many of the Italian planes as soon as possible. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I want to thank you all for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.